Hello, and you are watching Sharing Vietnam on NetViet VTC 10. As you may know, for many years, Vietnam is one of the prior partners in the development cooperation of Germany. The both sides have conducted several programs and projects linked closely on different areas such as sustainable economic development and vocational training or environmental policies. Joining us today will be Mr. Fabian Schindler, one of the program manager of GIZ in Vietnam. Hello, Mr. Fabian, and thank you so much for taking your time and joining our show today.
Hello, Mrs. Ngan. Thank you for inviting me.
So, in the past, before you moving to Vietnam, we know that you used to be an emergency medical technician. So, could you share more with us about this special job?
We had an obligatory army service in Germany, and what many people do if they do not want to go to the army, they do something that, if I can pronounce it correctly, it's something like a conscious objecture. So they do civil service instead. And that's what I did. And even more than 1 year before finishing high school, I applied for that position at the local firefighters. And I got a 3-month training, some working in the hospital and working as a third man on the ambulance. And then afterwards, for the rest of the year, to drive the ambulance myself and to deliver professional first aid in case of emergencies in factories or in households. It's a very exciting job and a very useful knowledge, I think. It's also nice to be able to help people. But yeah, I was also happy then to, after 1 year, stop that service and to start studying economics.
We know that GIZ were established in 2011 on the basis of merging 3 different organizations from Germany, into one organization named GIZ. So could you share with us more about this special organization?
Yeah, sure. Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, or GIZ short, maybe a rough English translation could be German Development Cooperation, is now merging former Deutscher Entwicklungsdienst, Gesellschaft für technische Zusammenarbeit and Invent, so the 3 agencies belonging to the German Ministry of Development and Cooperation. They are implementing the development aid policies of the German government as agreed with the partner countries where we are working. I mean, that is now, with all the 3 agencies combined, quite a large company with more than 17,000 people working in 130 countries all over the world.
Thank you, Fabian. And before moving deeper to the story today, we would like to share with you some more image about the preventing and fighting fire rehearsal by GIZ and UNIDO in Vietnam.
This is a firefight rehearsal in the Hainam textile factories in Bắc Ninh province. It is coordinated and implemented by UNIDO and GIZ. The purpose of the rehearsal is to improve the ability of firefighter workers as well as enhance their awareness of fire safety, not only at work but also at home.
Hello everyone and welcome back. So now when you move to Vietnam, you can apply somehow the experience that you have in Germany.
Working on corporate social responsibility, my economics background helps me. I mean, one topic that we are talking about today is the fire safety training we had at Hainam Garment, or Hainam company in Bắc Ninh. I think we will see some footage of the training, and it was a very excellent training. I think it was a very nice way to improve fire safety in the factory. on the one hand, and on the other also increase the awareness about fire safety of the workers and of their families as well as the surrounding community. Because I mean, there was a lot of excitement, as you can see in the video, when the firefighters arrived. There was smoke, so everybody was also scared. So you could see the situation became a bit serious, because with all the smoke you cannot see much anymore. Visibility is really going down, and that is a strong argument for having these exercises regularly, because in case of emergency there's not much time to think anymore. You really, due to the practice you have got, need to know what to do. And I think this training did that in a good way. We first had some theory lessons from a lecturer from the firefighters, very experienced man. He managed to capture his audience for more than 2 hours, standing there talking to them. And you know how it is, same Vietnam, Germany, conferences, people start to use their mobile phone, they chat with the neighbor. But there, the workers, they were really paying attention, because he had a very good mixture of experience from factories and also from households. So the workers were really listening, because he also transferred useful knowledge how to improve fire safety at home. I think it was a good combined experience. And then the practical exercise, really using a fire extinguisher, practicing how to evacuate the factory, good for the fire wardens as well, the fire safety team, to take care, okay, how many people are on my floor, have they all left, do we have to do some first aid, or do we have people to help people to get out of the factory? Also the communication between the local fire department on the one hand and the fire wardens of the factory on the other. I think it's good to practice that if something really happens, that you are prepared as best as possible.
Mr. Fabian, so what are your assessment on the safety situation of fighting fire safety in Vietnam?
My impression from the partner companies we've worked with, companies I've visited, and from buildings I've been in, is that the general awareness is there. You see, like in the studio here, fire extinguisher is there. You usually, in most places where I've been to, you have the regulations of the fire safety department that tells you what to do in a fire incident. You need to do it regularly to have people ready to act if something happens and to be aware. Another topic, I mean, the training focused in the practical part on firefighting. Maybe the more important topic is fire safety, and that means to take care that a fire does not start to begin with. So then you look a lot at how your building is constructed, what materials you use, and how you handle your production materials in the factory. Are there flammable materials? Where are they stored and in which quantity? What about the electricity in your workshop? How is the wiring? Is there any places where it can kind of become hot, so you need a really experienced electric technician to check it, to make it safe? And maybe one more thing is also what about emergency exits? There are more than one exit out of the factory floor. Is it not locked? So can people really use it in an emergency? Is it not blocked? Is nothing standing in the way from the inside and from the outside? That maybe are basic important things to take care of.
So is it can be considered as a CSR of a business?
Corporate social responsibility is a very wide concept that in general can help businesses to improve their long-term sustainability. And I would say that fire safety is a very basic and important activity of a company. And of course it is important in the interest of the workers, but also in the interest of the employer or the factory owner and the community around. I think fire safety is a very important aspect.
And now will be another break, and we would like to share with you some more information about GIZ in Vietnam.
GIZ was established in early 2011 on the basis of the accumulated experience for many years of the German Development Service, the German Technical Corporation, and the German International Capacity Building and Training. GIZ is organized under the Federal Republic of Germany, and it is sponsored by the government. GIZ operates in the field of international cooperation for the sustainable development and at the same time participate in the global education. The aim of this organization is to help people and societies in many countries around the world to improve and enhance the quality of life by themselves. For years, Vietnam is a prior partner of GIZ with several programs and projects linked closely in the overall objective of poverty reduction covering different power areas.
Hello everyone, and you are watching Sharing Vietnam. So apart from what you have just shared with us about the cooperation between Vietnam and Germany, especially in terms of fire safety, what are the other success and the drawbacks in the area of cooperation between the two countries through your organization GIZ?
Vietnam and Germany agreed to work in the sectors of health, sustainable management of natural resources, and sustainable business and vocational training. I would say that in general, looking at the recent development in Vietnam, which is quite impressive. So we have done achievements, we have participated in that success partly through the improved vocational education and training of workers, especially in electronics and mechatronics. Or other great examples are, I don't know if you have noticed the TV coverage in Europe about fish farming in the Mekong Delta, and my friends and family from home contacted me and, oh, we have seen these videos, we are a bit worried. And I said to them, yeah, I mean, they are working on it, and GIZ, for example, has one program on sustainable Pangasius farming with the German seafood company, and they are working to improve the procedures on growing Pangasius and to certify it so that people in Europe or in the US, wherever it is exported to, can know that the fish is produced in a good way. Maybe one other example are from our natural resources programs are colleagues working in the national parks in Thanh Hoa, where you partly have still communities living inside the national park who use the resources that the park was founded for to protect. But then the people also need to live somewhere, though what do you do? And what they have been working on is to create buffer zones between the border of the national park towards the fields of the farmers to see, okay, we have the national park, the core zone, where we try to protect it as it is and don't take any resources out. And in the buffer zones where you have maybe some farming activities to a lower extent to respect the border to the national park, until then out of the buffer zones you have the intensive agriculture business of daily life.
Great achievement from both sides with the assistance from Germany. What about you? What will be your upcoming plan in Vietnam?
I've been here for 3 years now, and it's a very exciting time. It has actually more or less passed in a second, and now my last year here has started, so I still want to improve my work a bit more and then maybe see 2 or 3 areas of Vietnam that I haven't visited yet. And then beginning of next year my plan is to go back to Germany, because after 4 years being abroad I'm a bit homesick sometimes, and I also want to go back to continue working in Germany and get more experience there.
It's a pity that this is the last year of yours in Vietnam, but we hope that we will welcome back you in a short time in this country.
Thank you very much, Ms.
Once
Nam.
again, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your watching today, and if you have any question or recommendation, please don't hesitate to contact at sharingvietnam@gmail.com. We will see you next time at 8:30 p.m. on NetViet VTC 10.